Hi, my name is Lyko Setnik, and I'm here in conversation with Timur Zaman from Alt Funds Global. Monetizing hard assets refers to the process of generating funds from your valuables. Instead of selling the assets, you can use them as collateral to secure a loan. Today, I'm going to find out how to monetize assets. Don't go anywhere.
Nothing that I offer in this video should be considered as legal or financial advice. The purpose of this video is strictly for entertainment and educational purposes only.
Hi, Timur. How are you today?
Hey, man. How are you? So nice to see you again. Thanks so much for your valuable time.
It's very exciting to speak with you whenever I do. So I have a couple questions here. The first one that a lot of people have been wondering, in terms of assets, a lot of businesses have assets like nickelware, gold, like a gold mine or things like that. How do you monetize hard assets like this?
So first
do you
of all,
have people that do you actually have people that ask you these questions?
100%. We have a lot of inquiries about monetizing hard assets. I'm going to let you know that our CEO earlier this year strategically decided we were no longer going to be monetizing hard assets like nickel wire, gold mines, things like that. That was a strategic decision that our CEO made, and I'm honoring that. The biggest, so there's a couple of ways to think about it. First of all, facts are, just a fact, the more capital a business has, the more they can do. If you have more money than your competitor, you can invest in technology, you can hire better talent, you can do a lot more things that your competitor cannot do. As a result of that fact, you have a lot of vision-driven business owners that are consistently thinking creatively. How can I access capital so I can make an investment in my business or investment in the stock market or investment, whatever it is they want to make an investment in? And where we come to play is, hey, Alt Funds Global, we have an asset, a hard asset, in this case, a nickel wire, gold mine, whatever the deal is, that we want you to monetize, cash it out, so I can get some cash out of it that I need liquidity capital for. I'll tell you how to correctly do this, and then I'll tell you about all the mistakes people do, and then I'll give you a hack, like a different way to think about this. The correct way for a business owner to do this is consider any bank, any family office, any asset management company that wants to give you cash against your asset. That bank, that family office, that hedge fund, that whatever else has their own trusted appraisers. I don't know how else to say that. Every bank, every family office that I know that monetizes hard assets has their own trusted appraisers. You either get that or you don't. If you get that, you want to consider all banks, all family offices, all hedge funds run one religion. I don't lose money. I don't lose money. If you're willing to consider everything that I say is true, banks have their own appraisers, family offices have their own appraisers, and they don't lose money. You want to get that no appraiser is going to fly to wherever you are in the world, whether in the United States, Africa, I don't care where you are. Nobody that I know of is flying in on their dime, praying and hoping that the nickel wire, the gold mine, whatever it is that you said you have, nobody that knows is kind of like flying, sending their appraisers on their dime and time, hoping that that asset that you have is true.
So do you fly them? Does that client fly them down?
So typically the bank or the family office or the asset management firm will say, okay, we're interested in a transaction. We are prepared to send some appraisers that we trust to appraise the asset and give us a valuation for the asset. Who has to pay for that flight, the food, the cost, whatever you want to think about it, is the entrepreneur. If you're an entrepreneur that doesn't have liquid capital, you don't have to have $10 billion in your pocket. But if you cannot understand that every bank has their own trusted appraisers and you have to pay for the flight of them flying out to wherever you are, you probably are wasting a lot of your time and effort talking to legitimate people because you don't have the capital. So step one is to find banks. All the large banks, by the way, have an asset management division to contact. Then there's I don't want to say boutique, but I don't have a better word for it. But they're boutique asset family offices, asset management firms that do monetize hard assets. So it's to identify maybe 15 or 20 of them, very easy to find. Now, when I say it's easy to find, I'm not asking for people to call my office and ask me for a list of the people we work with. We're not interested in giving lists. We don't sell lists. It's not something we're interested in doing at all.
Are these international companies or are they local places?
Most of the banks have asset management. For most of the large banks, have an asset management office division, but then their family offices in the United States, Singapore, like that monetizes hard assets. So you typically reach out to those guys and say, look, I have a hard asset that I want to monetize. Now, how you do it is very, very, very important. We within All Funds Global work with banks. So the lingo with the bank is, hey, I want to open up a bank account with you. What a concept. I want to open up a bank account with you. It's common sense for the entrepreneur who doesn't understand or doesn't think or doesn't have the capacity to think about what's the benefit for the bank CEO. They fail at monetizing assets. You contact the bank, you say, I'm going to open up a bank account with you. You go through compliance. At the compliance stage, you say, hey, look, I'm looking for project funding. I have a business. Our project requires funding. I would like to leverage an asset I have. You can talk about your nickel wire, gold mine, whatever it is. And I'm looking, do you have a program, a structured finance program where you can leverage my asset to give me capital for the project funding that I need? That's the right languaging, that's the right attitude, that's the right lingo if you want to deal with banks to fund your projects. Alternatively, you can talk to a lot of joker brokers that might experience are a waste of time, or family offices or people like that, and then kind of take your bet that way. So that's the way to do it. Line up banks, hedge funds, asset management firms that do that. Reach out to them to say, hey, can I open up an account with you or something like that? I'm looking for a project funding for a project that I have. Here's a project. I have properties. I have a company, a technology company, biopharma, whatever the deal is. I have a collateral asset that I want to leverage. And then you have to be prepared. You have to be prepared to pay for the appraiser two appraisers, they're going to fly down to appraise the property. That's like part one of it. Part two is that the appraisers will now come up with a valuation that you may or may not agree with. It's hard to tell a parent your child is ugly. I don't know how else to say that. Hard to tell a parent your child is ugly. Everybody thinks their asset is worth trillions of dollars. The appraiser will come back and say, and it's worth 500,000 X. One that's very popular. This is very popular. A lot of entrepreneurs go in places like eBay. You know eBay?
Yeah.
And they buy bonds. It's called like sovereign bonds, gold bonds, some nonsense like that, for like $20, $200, $2,000. It's all price ranges, right? And then the entrepreneur who knows nothing goes and tells a bunch of brokers, I have a bond. Can you go monetize it? The broker, oftentimes, my experience with a lot of brokers in the industry, they've never a day of their life worked in a real bank. And when I say real bank, I specifically don't mean retail banking. I mean private banking or asset management firm of a bank. They get excited. Oh, look, this is a $200,000 bond. I get to monetize this and they get a commission off it. Whoa. Meanwhile, the client bought it for $20 from eBay. I haven't seen that once or twice. I've seen it in my 9 years of doing this. I've seen it a lot of times. So there's a lot of junk out there. So the broker should tell the client, hey, I'm happy to give you my valuable time. You have cash. Some bank, some family office, somebody who wants to say they'll do this will send their appraisers, and their appraisers want to see if this is real. Do you have cash? If the client doesn't have cash, I wouldn't say walk away. I would say run away. But typically, the correct way is the bank or family office will send a couple of appraisers. Appraisers will come with a number. Then what they want to do is the bank or the family office wants assurance. So what they will look for is something called insurance wrap on that asset. I have 5,000 goats. I have a nickel wire. I have gold. Whatever it is, I want insurance. The value of the insurance is the value the family office or the bank is willing to provide the capital for. So if the gold mine is worth $100 million and you think it's worth $100 million, God bless you. It's worth $100 million. But if two appraisers come back and say, no, the average number is 20 million, the next step to that is usually the bank or the appraiser or the client will have to go to an insurance company. And trust me, there's a lot of insurance companies that will offer insurance wrap on the asset. And the insurance company will say, okay, 20 million, I'm not going to insure 100% of it. I'll insure 20% of it. So now on that 20% of 20 million, that's like, well, let's say $4 million. So the bank will now provide a loan or a limited recourse loan. The word joker brokers use that I don't like is non-recourse loan for $4 million. For an asset the client claims is worth $100 million. This is why I say you can't tell a parent your child is ugly. But once we go into the world of banking, when monetize a hard asset, that's what it looks like. Now, once you've got the $4 million, they're doing it against the project financing. You want a contract from the bank. You want a contract from the asset management company. And typically you get the contract on at the initial stages. So the initial stage would be, let's say the client wants to monetize the asset. I'm just making this up in Europe. They call ING Bank in Europe. They call the asset management company, the asset management division, the real estate division, and say, hey, look, here are the assets that I have. The family office of the bank will say, no problem, we'll send an appraiser in, but what's the deal? What's the deal? Whatever the valuation of the insurance wrap is, or whatever the appraiser says, that's the amount of loan the bank is giving against the asset. Now you need to have a place to put that into. The biggest mistakes entrepreneurs do is they go, oh, look, I'm going to go into a high yield program with the bank, like private placement program, some nonsense like that. I got $4 million, how I do it. So for things like that, I think you need I like to say All Funds Global, but our CEO has recently said we have so much volume of business, thank God, from stuff that's cash. We don't need to deal with this part. And there are lots of young people that want to aspire to be us. So that's a great option for them to go to these brokers that are young and they don't have a lot of experience, but they claim they do. It's like, hey, look, how would this work? Go give me a bank that will structure against a project financing. And then when I get a $4 million, help me figure out where I'm going to put it. That's how you would monetize a hard asset. Find a bank, family office that does it. Be prepared to put up some money up. I would say 300,000, 500,000, some amount of money up for appraisals to fly down, for insurance lab, like things like that. And get a contract. And that's how you monetize what's called a hard asset.
Okay, I see. Did you actually monetize hard assets in the past? I mean, is that why the direction is not to do that anymore?
We've had some limited amount of success in this area for sure, but the volume of traffic that we're getting, where we're closing transactions, where we enjoy working with a client, and we're able to deliver results, is people that have cash. And they're looking to leverage their cash or to do project financing, project funding. That's a lot more easier compared to a guy that says, hey, look, I have 5 goats. They're in India, and then I have another 5 camels, and the camels are in Sudan, and I have this land in Trinidad.
And is it also riddled with people that are, let's just say, not who they say they are?
Yeah, and it's riddled with lots of fraud for sure.
Yeah.
And then the keywords for running away is the client says, I am asset rich but cash poor. Those are the keywords to say, thank you so much, have a good day. The good news for you is I have 3 million competitors. Start calling.
It's like, thank you for being honest. Once again, that was fantastic. Great information. I hope everybody gets to go through it in depth. And always a pleasure talking with you. So until the next time, see you later.
Hi friends, I now want to take a minute and answer some of your frequently asked questions. One of the common questions I get a lot is, Timur, we've learned a lot from you through your YouTube channel. How do we learn more? Can we fly down and meet your team? And the answer to all of that is yes, yes, and yes. If you want to learn more, my first invitation is to become a member of Allfunds Global. You simply go to our website, allfundsglobal.com. You sign up to become a member for free. You get access to webinars, offshore events that we do, and content that we never, ever, ever, ever publish on YouTube. I promise you that it's worth becoming a member for sure. The second way that you can learn a lot is I'm a published author. Structured Financing Demystified, Hypergrowth, just multiple books on Amazon that you can get access to. I highly recommend going and checking out some of these books, getting engaged into some of the stuff, that strategies and tactics that we're using for ourselves, for our families, for our friends. You definitely want to check these things out for sure. Another question, I guess, Timo, why are you so passionate about getting a bank license? Why is that so important? Well, the truth is, our mission within Allfunds Global is to help businesses become self-funded for life. Imagine you run a coffee shop and I run a coffee shop. Imagine we buy the coffee beans from the same grower and my coffee shop is right across yours, like really right across yours. Our competition is probably nil. But if you have a bank license and I don't have a bank license, and let's say I made $500,000 and you made $500,000 in income, but if you have a bank license, you are depositing a bank license with a central bank of the country where you own your own private bank license. Let me repeat this again. You are depositing your money with the central bank of the country you have your bank license on. So $500,000 deposited with the central bank should give you a line of credit of 10 times multiple. So that means you get a line of credit of $5 million. Now it's not free money, it's a line of credit of $5 million. Now, if you draw that entire money out and you go to whichever country you're currently resonating in, the country you're doing business with, and you know in real estate, you want to buy a house, you put 20% down and you get a loan for 80%, same thing. You put $5 million down with a business plan to your local bank, whoever your bank with, and say, hey, I want to grow my business, my technology business, real estate business, pharmaceutical business, whatever business it is. I'm a venture capitalist. I'm putting $5 million down. Your bank gives you a loan at four times more, so now you get a $20 million loan. Now it's not free money, it's $20 million loan. What can you afford to do with $20 million that I cannot afford to do with $500,000? Could you invest in artificial intelligence? Could you invest in hiring better people? Could you invest in advertising? Hell, with that amount of money, could you even buy auxiliary businesses or invest in auxiliary businesses? I say you can, and that's why we within Allfunds Global are so passionate in helping clients become self-funded for life, and getting a private bank license is one of the vehicles that I am personally very passionate about helping clients on. Another question, I guess, Timur, you charge a consultation fee. Allfunds Global, the team charges a consultation fee. Why do you charge a consultation fee when you guys can make so much money on the back end? It somehow slows me down from taking a credit card and paying you money for it. Well, here's the truth. We offer our content, millions and millions of dollars worth of content completely for free on YouTube. We don't advertise as of the date of doing this video. We don't advertise on YouTube, Google, or we don't do any kind of advertising at all. And what we find is the volume of traffic that goes into YouTube attracts people that are tire kickers, people that are fraudsters, people that have mental health issues. When we charge a small consultation fee, this deters the hacker, the fraudster, the person who's shopping around, the tire kicker. It eliminates all that and allows me and my team to be on calls or meetings with customers we actually want to do business with. What a concept. Now comes, this is better. At the time of doing a transaction with a client, that fee they pay for a consultation call, we refund it. At the conclusion of us doing a transaction with the client, we refund 100% of all the monies that they paid on consultation fees. This allows us to work with people that are committed to working with us, are serious about working with us, are not tire kickers, are not people that are like, they don't know what banking 101 is, and they're there to waste our time and energy. Just eliminates that. And me and my team are very proud of doing that. Next question, I guess, Timur, the alternative funding industry overall has a lot of fraudsters in it, has a lot of deep fake in it. What are you doing to protect us, protect yourself? So here's the answer to that. Any industry that has a lot of money by default attracts a lot of fraud. Let me say this again. Any industry that attracts a lot of money by default attracts a lot of fraud. I don't know who you bank with. If you bank with one of the top 20 banks in the world, pick a bank you bank with, or you use payment processing companies like PayPal, these companies see a lot of fraud every day, from fraudsters mimicking their website to mimicking their email addresses, and in cases like mine, once a year or twice a year, some idiot, excuse my language, decides to copy my picture on social media, tries to create a fake profile of me, and goes on social media selling scammy transactions. Now, we have the technology and the resources to catch that, usually within 72 hours of that happening, and then cause legal action against that fraudster. We have the financial resources, thank God, to do that today, but that's just the nature of this industry. So what we do to protect ourselves is we never solicit on social media anything, nor do we solicit in general. We offer a lot of educational materials, but we don't solicit. You'll never see me or any of my associates on any social media trying to sell anything, ever. Second, all transactions that we do, money always has to go through a reputable law firm. All transactions we do, money always has to go to a reputable law firm. You know, we never ask the client to send us money or anything like that. Now, I do want to take a minute and talk a little bit about my competitors. In the United States, in the US alone, US has 3% of the world's population, and they have over 60% of the world's lawyers. In the United States, that's a fact, have 3% of the world's population and over 60% of the world's lawyers. I have a lot of legitimate competitors in the United States and around the world that unfortunately have been sued for wrongful things that other people have done. There's a lot of negative stuff on social media or websites about some of my legitimate competitors. And I want to tell you that a lot of my competitors are legitimate. They're hardworking people. I know them. They deliver real results. And unfortunately, they have negative comments or fraud or even losses against them. The reason within Allfunds Global doesn't have a lawsuit against it, or me, Timur Zaman, don't have a lawsuit against me, or people on social media saying that we're fraudsters or something like that, is simply because of my lack of vision. Every company you deal with, every major company you deal with, whether it's the cars you drive, Ford, Lexus, I don't know, GM, or Facebook, Google, YouTube, whatever you use, or medicine you have, like Tylenol, all of these companies have lawsuits against them. A lot of the companies you work with have litigations against them as just part of the growth. At some point, the business needs to grow exponentially, and that's when you have to see lawsuits as just the nature of the business growing. The fact that we don't have it is because of my lack of vision as the CEO and like trying to bark a tree like that. Now, I see that changing as we buy businesses that have other CEOs, as we grow. We have over 800 registered brokers with us. As that number grows, it's not normal for our business to continue growing without some idiot calling us fraudster, some idiot trying to sue us, or something like that. If you want to take advantage of the alternative funding industry, I'm going to tell you this is the industry I love. I'm going to tell you this is the industry that I've made a lot of money with. I'm going to tell you this is the industry I've helped a lot of clients make a lot of money with, friends and family make a lot of money with. And if this is an industry you want to get involved in, I recommend meeting the people you want to do business with, like physically flying out to meeting them. If you can afford to hire an investigator, we use a lot of former FBI, former CIA people. These are people you can hire to do background checks. It's not only do these people have lawsuits or not, or other losers calling them fraudsters or not. I'm telling you, a lot of my competitors are really good people, and they're not fraudsters. So like, do your own due diligence, listen to your intuition. We're really interested in working with some really good people that are vision driven entrepreneurs that really want to serve the world. And I think we have some things that are really amazing to offer. Another question I get is, Taimur, we love all the services of Funds Global. What are the top 3 services you offer that we should really seriously think about, call you or your organization and get you guys involved? But my favorite service, the one that makes a lot of sense, is the trusted advisory service. This is when we become your chief banking officer. We work with your CFO, your legal team, the CEO, the COO. We look at where your organization is, where you want it to be. We look at banking programs that make sense for your type of business, that are proven and would work to generate access to alternative revenue sources for your business that makes sense. From that, we then create offshore tax structures, offshore bank accounts, offshore bank licenses for your organization, so the revenue that gets generated has a channel to go to that is well protected. We have a lot of domain expertise that I do not share ever on YouTube. It's not like a lawyer who's like, go create a trust account and cooks out it. Like we don't do. We do some very sophisticated stuff that I'm very proud of. That's our intellectual property. And so the trusted advisory services, where we become a trusted advisor, is one of the things that I would recommend everybody to look at. It's a monthly retainer, you pay for it, but let me tell you, for every penny you put in to that, you get tens of dollars out of it. And I think you're not gonna get this amount of expertise dedicated to your business. So that's something I would recommend you to think about and sign up for. Second one is, if you're looking for access to capital, we have a lot of unique programs like Rent a Rich Uncle that we can support your organization as long as your organization is a successful business and not a startup, not somebody who's going bankrupt. It's a successful business that has real cash, real assets, and is generating something real, that's real growth. I think we have some avenues for accessing capital that others simply cannot offer. And the final one that I love is we have a lot of asset management structures that are very unique to our intellectual property that I'd love to share with you. If you have assets, you want to grow, you want to get bank license, you want to set up a trust, you want to work with multiple central banks, do some really cool stuff. I think I'm the only weirdest person that has real expertise and experience in doing this stuff. And so my name is Taimur. I'm from All Funds Global. Thank you for following us up on YouTube. If you're doing that, thank you for trusting me. Thank you for trusting my team. And on behalf of my team, I just really want to say thank you. And we look forward to the opportunity of serving you.